Hi everyone, and welcome to Super Simple Excel Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide in Microsoft Excel. You'll notice that throughout this video, all of the formulas I am using are listed over in column H for your reference. First, I'll show you how to add. Click into the cell where you want your result to appear. Then we can just start typing, and you'll see what you are typing appear in the formula bar. If you are not familiar with the formula bar or the ribbon tabs, or if you are new to Microsoft Excel, you're going to want to check out my other video on Excel Basics, which is linked down in the description below. Now, to get any formula started, you want to first type an equal sign. To add two cells together, we are going to tell Excel the first cell reference, type a plus sign, and then tell Excel the second cell reference. The cell reference consists of a letter or letters corresponding to the column and a number corresponding to the row where the cell is located. If you are unsure of a cell's reference, you can simply click into the cell and look here to the left of the formula bar. This is called the name box, and it will tell you what cell, array, or table you are clicked on. Now, going back to our formula, we have clicked into the cell where we want our result to appear, and we have started typing our formula with an equal sign. Now for this first example, I want to add cell A3 to cell C3. So first I type A3, or I can just click on cell A3, and Excel will put the cell reference right into my formula for me. Then I type a plus sign since we are doing addition. And lastly, I will type C3 or click on cell C3 since that is the second cell I want to add. Hit enter. Now you can see the result of adding cell A3 plus cell C3. If we want to perform the same exact function for these rows below, Excel makes it very easy for us. Click into the cell where we just typed up that formula, and in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a square. Hover your mouse over that square and it will turn into a cross symbol. Click and hold your mouse button while the cursor looks like a cross, and we can drag the mouse down to as many rows as we want this formula to be copied. Note that you can also drag formulas across left or right if your data is sorted differently. An even faster way to fill these formulas down, and this only works to fill formulas down, is to double click when your mouse cursor is over the square and has turned into a cross. Excel will fill the formula down as long as there is data in the cells just to the left of the column you are trying to fill. It's easy to add together even more than just two cells. See here how I can just keep adding cell references and plus signs to add multiple cells. We can also use Excel's sum function to add cells together. Just type equal sign, then the word sum, S-U-M, and open parenthesis. Now you can select all of the cells you want added together, close parenthesis, and hit enter. To select cells that are all adjacent to one another or right next to one another, you can just select them all at once by clicking in the first cell you want to sum, holding down your mouse button, drag your mouse to the last cell you want to sum, and release the mouse button. If the cells are not next to one another, you can click on the first cell you want to sum, type a comma, click on the next cell you want to sum, type a comma, and keep going until you've clicked on the last cell you want to sum, close parentheses, and hit enter. A faster way to select cells that are not next to one another is to hold down the Control key while you select the cells. Control is the key that says CTRL on most keyboards. Once you've clicked on the last cell you want to sum, release the Control key, close parentheses, and hit Enter. Subtracting in Excel is just like adding in Excel, except of course you use a minus sign instead of a plus sign. Just like when we were adding, we click in the cell where we want our result to appear. Type $, type the cell reference, or just click on the cell you want to subtract from, then type a minus sign, and finally type the cell reference, or just click on the cell that has the value you want to subtract. Then hit Enter to see the result. Remember, we can fill this formula down to the rest of the rows by hovering our mouse over the square that appears in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until our cursor turns into a cross. Then either double-click on the square or click and hold your mouse button down while you drag your cursor to the last cell where you want your formula to appear. Again, we can easily subtract more values just by adding more minus signs and more cell references. Multiplying in Excel is just like adding or subtracting in Excel, except we use an asterisk instead of a plus or minus sign. The asterisk is the symbol that shares a key with the number 8 on most keyboards, and it looks like this. Just like when we were adding and subtracting, we first have to click in the cell where we want our multiplication result to appear. Then type $, type the cell reference, or just click on the first cell you want to multiply. Then type an asterisk, and type the cell reference, or just click on the cell that has the next value you want to multiply. Then hit Enter to see the result. Remember, we can fill this formula down to the rest of the rows by hovering over the square that appears in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until our cursor turns into a cross. Then either double-click on the square or click and hold your mouse button down while you drag your cursor to the last cell where you want your formula to appear. Again, we can easily multiply more values just by adding more asterisks and more cell references. Dividing in Excel is just like adding, subtracting, or multiplying in Excel, except we use a / between cell references. The / is the symbol that shares a key with the question mark on most keyboards and looks like this. As always, we first have to click in the cell where we want our division result to appear. Then type $, type the cell reference, or just click on the first cell that has the value you want to divide, also known as the dividend. Then type a /. Next, type the cell reference, or just click on the cell that has the value you want to divide by, also known as the divisor. Then hit Enter to see the result. Remember, we can fill this formula down to the rest of the rows by hovering our mouse over the square that appears in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until our cursor turns into a cross. Then either double-click on the square or click and hold your mouse button down while you drag your cursor to the last cell where you want your formula to appear. Again, we can easily divide more values just by adding more / and more cell references. Hey guys, I hope this video was helpful. If you clicked on this video hoping to learn something I didn't cover, please leave a comment to let me know how I can make this tutorial better. If you found the video helpful, please hit that like button, leave a comment to tell me how you used it, and share the video with your friends and coworkers. If you want to learn more, subscribe to my channel and check out my other Excel tutorials. Bye for now.